Good afternoon. A couple of reminders as we get going. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, the coaches, and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. Also, a reminder, recording press conference video is prohibited. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. We'll have 2 mic runners. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before asking a question. Now joining us are members of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, head coach Kevin Schnall, and student athletes Riley Eichhoff, Walker Mitchell, and Colby Thorndike. Gentlemen, congratulations on advancing to the championship series. Coach, we'll start with an opening statement from you.
As a leader, I think all great leaders are people that others want to emulate, and Dan McDonnell is that guy, or is one of those guys for me. What he did as an assistant coach at Ole Miss, and then the last 19 years as the head coach at Louisville, he's probably one of the most successful head coaches in the country, somebody that I look up to. And to do what we did today versus that team, as well coached as that team is really amazing. You know, the Chanticleers are one of 2 teams in the entire country still playing. And it's incredible, but it's not unbelievable. It's incredible, but it's not unbelievable. And it's not unbelievable because we've got really good players. But the separator is these players are willing to drop I and me for we and us. And when you bring a group of people together with that mentality, this is what can happen. 25 straight now? 26 straight, 56 wins, school record. 176 hit by pitches, NCAA record broke today. Absolute selfless group that did unbelievable things this year. And another reason that we're in this position is because we have an athletic administration that backs our program at the highest level. And what I mean by that is they enabled us to hire an elite coaching staff that would rival any coaching staff in the entire country. They give us the resources to put our players in the best position to become the best players that they can be. And it's an absolute team effort. The last thing that I want to say is the reason that I'm in this position was our former athletic director, Matt Hogue. Back in 1999, I'll never forget the job he did for the recognition I received as a player. He continued to recognize me as a coach, and if it wasn't for him, obviously Coach Gilmore, I would never have been given this job, and I'm forever grateful for him.
We'll open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. This one's for Colby and Walker. Another big first inning for you guys, and you guys just keep seeming to come up with hits in big situations for your team. Talk a little bit about that and the approach you guys have to just come up in those big situations.
Yes, well, we always preach scoring first, and anytime you have a chance to score first, you're going to get a bunch of momentum dumped in your dugout. And this time Walker made it easy on me. He didn't make me do it with no runs scored. He went ahead and got 2 runs in for me, so it made it a little easier. But we always preach when bases are loaded, the pressure's on the pitcher. It's not on the hitter. He's got to throw 3 strikes. If he throws 4 balls, then that's a run. So we always preach, pressure's on the pitcher. And when you stick to your approach and you believe that, it makes things easier.
Yeah, like he said, with know where the pressure is. Coach Schilling says that to us all the time, and just being able to go up there with a slow heartbeat and get the job done for the boys, it's huge.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Question for Colby. You're on an incredible tear in the postseason, not just the NCAA tournament, but the Sun Belt Conference tournament as well. You've tallied at least 1 hit, 1 run scored in all but 2 NCAA tournament games. What's your approach like at the plate today? Walk me through the first inning at bat where, an incredible job getting a couple of RBIs across the plate, but, celebration also towards the dugout.
We're just, we practice, sticking to an approach. And I think a little bit early in the season, I didn't really have much of an approach, and I'll admit that. But once I figured out what approach worked for me and worked best, and I could stick to it, it makes things a lot easier. And that the celebration is something we've had since, I think, weekend 1. We don't really know where it came from. We just kind of came up with it. So whenever we have a chance to do it, we're going to do it.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Riley, you've been on the mound for a lot of those early leads that your team has grabbed. Today was obviously a big one, but what does that do for you as a pitcher to be able to pitch from ahead consistently as you've been doing during this winning streak?
If offense goes out there and gives you a big lead, it's big pressure off yourself. You go out there, just do your thing, try and make pitches. I made quite a few pitches today, and the defense made great plays behind me. And without them, the score wouldn't be the same today. They've made a lot of great plays behind me, so grateful for them.
You have any more questions for the student athletes? You're in the blue.
Yeah, Riley, just 45 pitches on Friday. I think 98 today, 90-something. I think it was 98. Were you running out of gas a bit in that sixth inning? And, how did you try to get through that?
I wouldn't say that I was running out of gas. I mean, obviously, every pitcher gets a little tired as the game goes on. But, I just lost some feel, then tried to get it back. But, Louisville, they got a bunch of good hitters, and, they made some good swings. So, all I could do is focus on myself, try and make pitches. And, they made good swings on good pitches. Props to them. A bunch of good hitters with them.
We'll take one more for the student athletes.
Nick Hathcote, College Baseball Insiders. Riley, what was working so well today, obviously against such a great offensive hitting team like Louisville?
Off speed was, helping me out a lot. I was able to keep them off balance, get weak contact, and let the defense make plays behind me. Whenever I don't have to do too much and the defense just takes care of business behind me, it makes my job a lot easier.
Riley, Walker, Colby, we appreciate your time, and we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Some sweat. Yeah, I don't know where it came from.
We'll now open it up to questions for Coach.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Kevin, I was kind of going back to reading Aaron's fall report on you guys. It did not sound like a team, at least from your perspective, that looked like a potential national championship contender at the end of the fall. What did you kind of see from this team in the fall, and what are you kind of seeing now that may be a little different?
Well, in the fall, we clearly felt like we were going to have a really good pitching staff. A couple guys were down in the fall, so we knew that they were coming back. But the truth was we just had to figure out. We lost 3 of our 4 top hitters from last year. We lost a Hall of Fame head coach. So we had to kind of figure out who was going to fill, those gaps. And those 3 guys that we lost offensively are tough to replace. Truth be told, Sebastian Alexander stepped up in a big way. I mean, he's got the tools to be a great player. We knew that all along, but he just never really put it together. Now he's batting in our 2 hole, and he's done a big job for us to kind of fill some of those production that we had from last year. But I can't say that we felt it was a national championship contender. We knew it was a really good team. We knew it was a championship type team. We were picked 4th in the Sun Belt. No problem. We'll move forward, keep our head down, and keep grinding. And that's what this team did. But we clearly felt like this pitching staff was going to be the best pitching staff we ever had.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, I was hoping if you could expand on what you said. It's not unbelievable. It's incredible. And for me, what I noticed is it's just a very consistent ball club. Everybody in that lineup got on base today. In the NCAA tournament, 8-0, you've nearly tripled your opponents in run differential in games. Can you just talk about that consistency?
Well, it starts with frees. Today we were able to earn 10 frees, 6 walks, 4 hit by pitches. That's where it starts. We've got to earn frees. I thought we ran the bases exceptionally well. It was bang, bang at third. Wells, going first to third on that hit. Tip your hat to their right fielder, but Blake Barthel coming through with that big 2-out hit right there after they got the big inning, something we've done a great job of. I think it's 12 straight games in a row. We haven't given up a big inning. We give up a big inning to Louisville today. And you got to give them credit. They got, to They got 2 infield hits that we just couldn't get our glove to, and then they get 2-out hits in a row. The bottom of their order got 2-out hits in a row to get them that 3rd run. That's a big deal in our program is winning that big inning war. And even though we were up 6-0, all we were talking about was we were up 1-0. We're up 1-0 in the big inning war. And then, Dean Mijo's coming through, getting that big 2-out double to get us that 7th run. Again, that 7 run, that scoring first, winning the big inning war, and getting to 7 are 3 really important parts of our offense.
Wilson Moore from the Omaha World Herald. Kevin, you meant with the sheer number of hit by pitches, I'm just wondering, what do you attribute that to? Is that philosophy, approach? What do you attribute the hit by pitches to?
Well, they don't eat if they get out of the way. No, we just, it's just something that our guys have bought into. Our guys are obsessed with getting on base. They understand the way you score runs is having guys on base, and any way you can get on base helps our team win. And we got a bunch of humble dogs in that dugout that are willing to do whatever it takes to win, and that's why we're one of 2 teams in the country still playing today.
Mitch, Coach, is there any kind of specific parallel that you can draw between this team and the one that you came here with in 2016? That's something that allows these guys not to let the moment get too big?
I wish I could give you an answer that you could really take off with, but I can't. No. It's different than the 2016 team. That 2016 lineup was so dangerous, 1 through 9, power, speed, short game. This team is different. This team is more grind, inside game, first to third, little things like that, and they play really high-level defense. Even though we've made 2 outfield errors this week, that's the only errors we've made. We're fielding over 980 here in the postseason, which is pretty tough to do because you're in a lot of pressure situations.
We'll take one more question for Coach.
Kevin, you kind of spent a lot of time this week talking about the contributions that all these players have had, but just for you personally, like, how has this run been? 26 straight national championship, or playing for one at first year as a head coach. Is it almost like a dream a little bit?
It really hasn't hit me yet. I'll be honest. I'm still trying to digest that game. I know we're going to the World Series finals, and whoever wins 2 out of 3 brings home brings home a national championship. So no, it hasn't really hit me yet, because one of my maybe flaws is I'm rarely satisfied. This is satisfying, but I'm not satisfied yet. And, these next 2 days are really critical if we're going to win a national championship.
That'll conclude our press conference. Coach, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASCP and will be posted shortly. Thanks for joining us. Again, just a couple of reminders before we get going. At this time, we ask all media members to please silence your cell phone out of a courtesy to the coaches and student athletes. Also, a reminder, recording press conference video on cell phones is prohibited. We have 2 mic runners in the room. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before asking a question. And when the microphone does reach you, please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. Now joining us are members of the Louisville Cardinals, head coach Dan McDonnell, and student athlete Eddie King Jr. Coach, we'll start with an opening statement from you.
I got to congratulate Coastal Carolina. Man, they're, 56 wins. It's impressive. The streak they're on, it's just not easy to win that consistently in baseball, the sport of baseball. In college, there are teams that can stack up a bunch of wins, but I don't know, 25 or 6 or whatever they've got in a row is just, man, that's impressive. I mean, that says a lot about their kids. Like, I always challenge our guys to be professional, like be a pro and show up every day. And it's just to not like have a mental letdown, to not show up with 100%, and get, obviously give credit to their coaches because they've got those guys on point. I mean, they're a well-oiled machine. They're efficient, and they've obviously put themselves in a great position. And so congratulations to them. I've known Kevin for a long time, and I know how hard he's worked. And, that's his program. He's been a part of that program for a long time. So he's put in a lot of effort and hours to recruit and coach and keep that program, one of the top programs in college baseball. So congratulate him. And I'll hand it over to Eddie in questions, and my word's just going to be joy. I'm filled with a lot of joy for this guy to my left, and our team, our program. I'm just super proud of them. And I hate losing today. Don't get me wrong. And I want to coach them tomorrow, but man, it's hard for me to not be filled with joy for how this season went and how we got back to this place and made a good run at it.
We'll now open it up to questions for Eddie.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. Eddie, obviously, you come to a place like Louisville to play in Omaha. How much pride do you take in being a part of the team that got Louisville back here?
I'm just grateful to be along for this journey and be one of the people or one of the teams that can go down in the history books for Louisville. This is a special team, and I'm just sad it came to an end today, but I'm just grateful.
Nick Hathcote, College Baseball Insiders. Eddie, Riley Eichhoff kind of mentioned in his presser that he used a lot of the off-speed to kind of keep you guys off balance. Is that what you were seeing personally and kind of what your teammates were talking about back in the dugout?
Yeah, I saw a lot of off-speed pitches. He's a good pitcher. He knows how to pitch, but, it's just we came up short today, but I felt like we did a good job in the box overall, but just didn't get it going when we should have.
No. 0.7. Eddie, yesterday in the press conference, Coach was talking about your personal journey, and after a junior season, it could, to some players, feel like you may have lost having returned to a program that in the preseason, the ACC head coaches selected you guys to finish 9th in the standings, and yet you were one of the 4 teams left standing in college baseball this season. Can you elaborate on your journey throughout this season and your mindset through, your own adversity in the year?
It's been a long journey, ups and downs. We started off pretty good, then we went through a little like bumps in the road, but I think we just, we did well as a team. We always fought back. I know we surprised a lot of people, but we always knew we had it in us. We just brought it out at the right time, and I think this team is just so resilient. Just the things that we did all year, even, guys fighting injuries like Alex, Pike. It just goes to show this group is really special, and we just have a lot of talent, and we proved it this year.
Terry Payton, Inside Louisville Baseball. Eddie, from the beginning of the year, before the season even starts, you're the Ali Scholarship winner, at the leadoff dinner, to the run you go on with all the homers and the people chanting your name. Can you just summarize a little bit what this entire experience and this extra year has meant to you?
I'm honestly just really glad it worked out this way. I always say, everything happens for a reason, and you just got to trust God's plan. So, I was just meant to be here for another year, and I'm so glad I took that because I got to be with this special group of brothers and, got one more year with Coach Mack. So, got to learn from him another year. So, yeah, this just the whole year. I can't ask for much more. I love the whole ride.
We'll take one more for Eddie.
Alexis Cuba, Louisville Courier-Journal. Eddie, obviously, there's a lot of, even though you wanted to continue playing with them, there's a lot of young talent that'll be coming back next year. I guess, what is your message to some of those guys like the Jakes, the Ethans, the Zions?
Just keep working. This year, it goes to show just anything can happen, anything is possible, no matter what team, what school, whatever. So just bring the group next year together, just, build a special bond and just go to work together. Just always fight, never give up, just keep doing it.
Eddie, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on an outstanding season.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll open it up to questions for Coach.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Go ahead, Mac. Finish up, buddy.
No, go ahead. The brain. It's my excuse for texting when I'm driving, and my wife gets mad at me, and it's a bad habit. But the poor brain, if I don't do it when it's in my mind, I'll forget 10 seconds later. So sorry.
It's all good. We got a while. Yeah. You've coached a lot of really good teams. You've coached against a lot of really good teams. What is it about Coastal that makes him so difficult to beat right now in the middle of this winning streak?
Well, they obviously do the three things really well. I think what's so impressive is I don't. Are they scoring in the first inning? It feels like they score in the first inning, especially out here in Omaha. And it's like they just get right out of the gate and they just put that pressure on you. You got to pitch. And, I mean, they're throwing guys with really good numbers. And they got multiple guys. It's not like they got really good pieces there. I don't see them enough throughout the year. And, I mean, they look like they play good enough defense. But they definitely pitch and, man, they're offensive, And it just shows you, man, the recipe for baseball, it's simple concept. It's just not easy to get there. And I'm so impressed from a distance, the little I saw of them, but having seen them up close and personal, and again, I don't know how you overlook the win streak. I brag about I was part of a team. We won 25 in a row. We were 26-1 at the Citadel my sophomore year. And then we went through some bumps and ups and downs, but we end up making a run to Omaha. And I always look back, you win 25 in a row, you got something special there. And we showed it in the postseason. The Citadel went to Omaha. So, these guys, and they've done it in the last half of the season, in the conference tournament, in the regionals, in supers, in Omaha, against, as we always say, the best teams. So it's impressive what they've done.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. Similar to the question I asked Eddie, and I'm not going to ask you to compare Omaha trips. That's not fair. But how special is this one, given that you got back and were able to reset that standard?
I've been maybe comparing this one a little bit to 07. 07 was the first time we got here, and I just remember the excitement making the regionals that year and playing free and having fun, and that was an older group, a tough group. And so, yeah, to go in 13 was like, okay, we weren't a one-hit wonder. To go in 14 was like, oh, okay, we're a regular at the table. And, man, we had a run there, from 12 to whatever, 19 or 20, where, man, we were just a machine. And that was fun. But then, we obviously took a step back as a program. And so the last few years, man, it's been tough. I've talked about it openly and won't get real deep into it, but, man, it's been bleak. And so, be careful how high you set the bar. Don't set these kids up to fail. You know, are we really getting the support to go to Omaha and win a national championship? And it's like you're trying to find that balance as a coach. And so, as I said, this year, my whole message was win the ACC. That's all I kept saying. Win the ACC. Win the ACC. Because if you can do damage in that league, you're more than prepared to make a run through the postseason. And the league was so balanced. There was so much parity. I think we're going into the last weekend. We could finish like second or like 12th. I mean, it's just crazy. And so just knowing we were in the postseason, there was a peace and a calmness there. There was a joy there, but there was a chip on their shoulder, just the way we finished. And so for me, yeah, there's a lot of similarities to our first trip here, and I'm very appreciative. I have a lot of gratitude, and like I said, for me, the word is joy. I just got a lot of joy for this group and the journey that we've been on.
I guess going off of that, Dan, knowing what it took to get that many College World Series appearances in that span of time, and knowing the young talent you have coming back, what can this experience do for them in terms of maintaining that standard like that run you guys had 10 years ago?
Well, you hope they now know I'm not full of crap, excuse my language, because, you feel like you've been preaching stuff the last few years, and it just hasn't been working. And then kids lose faith, lose hope, recruits lose faith, lose hope, and it's like, maybe this guy, maybe this program's not what it says it was. And like for a kid like Eddie to sit up here and, you come to Louisville. I mean, we stick our chest out. Not, we try to stay humble and hungry, but when you're recruiting someone, it's like, hey, man, like this is what we do. I mean, Eddie's got his degree, like academic success. We had the highest team GPA in the men's athletic program at the university. I mean, it's like 40 kids. And we had the highest GPA award winner here in Omaha. They used to give out a team award. Like we've got 2 plaques hanging in our office, so I don't have to get on the NCAA or somebody. What happened to the highest team GPA award? Because I was sitting there the other night kind of confidently thinking, okay, where's Rachel, our academic coordinator? She's about to walk up here and get this nice award that we have in our office, but they didn't give it out, So, community service. Like we're Kamayu Neighbors is one of the Lou Gehrig Award Leadership Community Service Award winners, and man, we serve. I mean, we took 20 guys to the hospital the other day. I didn't make them go. I didn't even want to be involved because I didn't want them to feel guilted into, because Coach, they know how much Coach Mack likes if you serve. So I didn't even want to be part of that. So I let Chris Morgan, FCA director, send it out, and we're like 20 guys, on that. You say off day, but practice and the long night the night before, and just to spend time at the Children's Hospital, and then player development. We take so much pride in helping these kids get better, not just on the field. Believe me, there's a baseball aspect to our development, but the older I get, the longer I do this, it's like, wait a second, man, you gotta pour into these kids. I've been on this team more about tipping than I ever have, right? I mean, like trying to prepare these kids, like what does it mean to leave $1 for somebody who's serving you, $2, $3, like show your appreciation and all the things that we poured into these kids, just wanting them to cross the line and be better off than when they got here. Not that they were bad when we get them. I always give a lot of credit to the parents, but just, you want them to be better than when they got here, mature, ready for the real world. And then, our big league success. I mean, it's pretty cool getting text messages from all the pro guys, all the guys in the big leagues. Like Dalton Rushing's been following us as closely as anybody. Henry Davis flew here with Paul Skeens on his off day. Like, we take a lot of pride in that. That's important to kids. And that's why I keep saying that this guy that was sitting to my left, this dude's ready for pro ball. Jake Monroe's ready for pro ball. Matt Klein's ready for pro ball. Patrick Forbes and Tucker Biven and others. Man, these guys are ready. Like, I can't promise you're going to make it to the big leagues, but they're ready. These guys are gonna move through a system. So, I think I'm still answering the question of, as to what was this year like, man. This year was a lot. This year was a lot. And while I got the mic, I'm on joy, right? So let me build off of joy. There's a quote here from a pastor. Grimness is not a Christian virtue. If God is really at the center of one's life and being, joy is inevitable. If we have no joy, we have missed the heart of the good news. The good news. And that's, for me, I've been entrenched in the good news this year. Like that's where, for my heart, I'm 169 days in the Bible recap, which Tara Lee Cobble is freaking awesome. It's awesome. So if you've never read the Bible, I promise you, this is a way you can do it. And as I encourage people, grab a friend, grab a husband, grab a wife, grab your buddies, get in one of these studies. They're awesome. And so for me, another priest put it simpler. Joy is the surest sign of the presence of God. And for me, I don't want anybody to look at me and go, man, that guy's holier than thou. Because I'm not holier than thou. Believe me. It's far, far from that. But, man, I got joy because of my walk with the Lord. I have a choice to be a sad saint or express, hopefully, my joy and delight in unbridled thankfulness. So I just got a lot to be thankful for. I'm thankful to be in the ACC. It's an awesome baseball league. I'm thankful to be the head coach at the University of Louisville. My wife and I just love it. Just love it there. As hard as the last few years have been. Oh, my gosh. It's been hard. But we're very thankful. Man, Terry, I'm thankful for you. No, serious, because this dude's standing out there in February after a win or a loss, and he's seen, I guess, my best and worst. But this dude's been there. I got no problem with people that, hey, jump on the bandwagon anytime you want. I mean, we'll take you. No judgment, right? We always say that. No judgment. But you were there from the get-go. I mean, and I appreciate that, but I know our players appreciate it, and I think our fans appreciate it because somebody needs to cover that. Listen, we come from an awesome basketball tradition. Awesome. So I get it, man. Support our basketball, and let's make a run into March and deep into March. And then, hey, by the way, we got this thing called the Kentucky Derby. If you hadn't heard of it, it's a pretty big deal in our city, and it's awesome. Love being, it's literally across the street from Jim Patterson Stadium. So we have a lot going on in the spring, So, yeah, we got to fight a little bit for our PR at times. But, man, the way it ended at Jim Patterson, that super regional, I couldn't have scripted it any better. To go on the road for a regional, to host a super regional, well, let me take it back. If we could have won about 4 more games, I could have scripted it a little better. But I think for me, I just have to make sure people see me here when we're on top of the world. But, man, when you lose and your season comes to an end and it's crushing, I want people to go, man, I want to drink what that guy's drinking. There's something about that guy, not because of Dan McDonnell. Like I said, is it because of my walk with the Lord? And that's my responsibility. And I hope anybody who listens is intrigued or curious because it's a special journey to be on. And as we talked about journey all year, man, this has been an awesome journey. So we're going to try to keep this thing going.
That's all the time we have, Coach. We appreciate your time.
I thought Kendall said we were unlimited time. So, we'll blame it on him.
You're good, Coach.
All right.
We appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us.
We've got ACC Network.